Psst, check out my Patreon. Just when I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, life decided to pull me all the way back inside the pit, didn't it? Sheesh, I just can't seem to catch a break, can I? Hey everybody, so in case you haven't already heard yet, I'm making a little news video about a recent Powerpuff Girls related announcement. Haven't had to do one of these in a while. There was an article posted recently on Variety.com about an announcement for a live-action adaptation of the Powerpuff Girls that is currently in development at the CW. This is the same network that has made the successful DC superhero shows like The Flash and Arrow. This is a surprise to me. I can certainly say that I did not expect to ever come home to this announcement yesterday after a long day at work and playing some Pokemon Go with my girlfriend. Yeah, needless to say, I'm not too happy about this. I'm sure many of you already know that I'm a pretty big hardcore Powerpuff connoisseur. I'm a diehard fan. I love the show. It's my absolute favorite cartoon of all time. It's my favorite television series of all time. I love the property, the characters, everything about it is just exquisite, genius. I mean, my entire YouTube channel is literally dedicated to talking about this one franchise on like a regular basis. I've seen every episode of the original series. I couldn't even tell you how many times. And I've also reviewed almost every single episode of the 2016 reboot. I've played Powerpuff games, I've read the comics. I know a lot about this franchise, so I think I know what I'm talking about when I say that this sounds like a train wreck of an idea. Live action Powerpuff Girls. Seriously, who on earth was asking for this? At least with the 2016 reboot, like that show came out during a time where the original had stopped producing new episodes for like over a decade. This is fresh off of the heels of that utter shit fest, and just when you thought the franchise couldn't get any worse, the CW had to go and prove us wrong with this announcement. I know I sound very winded about this, but I'm just like baffled. And it's funny because I've received comments from people asking, how would I feel about a live action adaptation of Powerpuff Girls? Or how would I feel about a dark adult version of Powerpuff Girls? And I always give the same answer. I really don't want it. I don't. It misses the entire point of what the original show was about. But I'll get more into my reasoning with that momentarily. I do want to read the blurb that is posted on the article for you so you get an idea of what the premise for this show supposedly is at this time. So this is what the article reads. The Powerpuff Girls could soon fly again. Variety has learned that a live-action version of the classic Cartoon Network series is in development at the CW. In the updated version of the series, the titular superheroes are now disillusioned 20-somethings who resent having lost their childhood to crime fighting. Will they agree to reunite now that the world needs them more than ever? Just why? Look at these designs, okay? Do these designs look like they could possibly translate in any way, shape, or form to real life? No, not in a million freaking years. The entire concept of putting the Powerpuff Girls in a live-action scenario is just, it's blasphemous to me. It's blasphemy. Alright. I apologize if this video has me going all over the place, but there's just a lot that needs to be said in a short amount of time, and so I might be repeating myself or bouncing around back and forth, but please just bear with me. There is quite a bit that I need to say. The entire concept of the Powerpuff Girls is something that can only work in animation. There are certain things that cannot be done in real life that animation can masterfully present and portray. This isn't just true to the Powerpuff Girls, this is true in general. You can never make Into the Spider-Verse in real life. It just could not happen. That's the beauty of animation, bringing life to these images that do not exist in our reality. How in God's name do the network executives think that this is going to be a good idea? You mean to tell me that Mojo Jojo, this green chimpanzee with a giant brain, is gonna look good in live action? What, are we also gonna see giant mobster amoebas floating down the street? Is the Gangrene Gang just gonna consist of a bunch of mid-30 low-life dudes who still live with their parents because they can't get a job? And how on earth are you even gonna do Fuzzy Lumpkins? Or him? This just sounds horrible. And the monster fights too, like, Okay, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm being a little too pessimistic right out the gate, but if our current era of live action adaptations of previous animated works are anything to go by, it's not a very good track record. I'm not saying that Detective Pikachu or Sonic the Hedgehog were necessarily bad movies, but I was not on board with the Sonic movie at all, and the only Pokemon that I actually thought looked good was Pikachu itself, and I guess Mewtwo, spoiler alert. But most of the other Pokemon in Detective Pikachu were just super uncanny, and I really don't get why it needed to be a live action film. That's besides the point, I'm not trying to stray too far away from the main topic at hand. The fact that the premise for this show is that the Powerpuff Girls have been aged up into 20-something-year-olds is a dead giveaway that the original cartoon wasn't going to work in real life and that they were aware of this. How are you going to get actual 6-year-olds to play these characters in a real-life scenario with the same level of maturity that the cartoon did? Answer, you can't. You don't. That's why the show had to resort to aging the girls up, because it knew it wouldn't work. Also, having real people play these characters completely ignores the whole design of the characters. Completely ignoring these features and using regular people totally overshadows the entire appeal of the iconic original character designs. Those designs are iconic, of Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. You see a silhouette of those characters and you know exactly who they are. That's how you know that a character's design is good. The silhouette test, it's basic design principles. Not to mention the fact that the entire concept of the original show is that these cutesy 6-year-old kindergartners were fighting these giant, angular, grotesque monsters. That's the whole appeal of the show. The contrast in character designs is genius on Craig McCracken's part. The sheer irony in seeing something so small and cute and innocent pack such a violent wallop was brilliant. And by aging the girls up, you miss the entire fucking point of that. By making them adults who are more mature, more guilty, it completely misses the point. Just like how the reboot failed to understand that action was a vital component to the Powerpuff Girls, this supposed new series seems to be heading down a similar path, only instead of the action aspect, it's going to be missing the cute one. And I say supposed only because at the time of me making this video, the Variety article is the only source we have available on this show's existence, so I'm sure more may unfold after this video gets released, but I don't know how true this necessarily is because there aren't any official sources from a network executive or a brand account on Twitter or anything like that present in the article, and nothing else has been posted online at the time of this video. Maybe we'll get updates and feel free to post them in the comments of this video, but as of this point, this could just be a made-up lie. It could be a rumor, but after seeing the 2016 reboot, anything is possible. I'm certainly not shutting myself off to potential horrible ideas of how to ruin the Powerpuff Girls more than it already has been. Craig McCracken, I am so sorry, man. As far as I'm aware, you didn't do anything to deserve seeing your masterpiece fall to shambles like this. You have my sympathies. I understand that the CW has had success in making shows like Arrow and The Flash, but adultifying the Powerpuff Girls, it just doesn't work in my eyes. Do people really want to watch an entire series about two broke Powerpuff Girls? Because while that Mad short was pretty amusing, it was one short. I can't see an entire show with a premise similar to that grabbing the same energy and appeal that the original show was famous for. The darkest that I feel the Powerpuff Girls ever got was in a few Him episodes and the movie. But despite those episodes being dark, and don't get me wrong, they are good episodes, they're only one portion of the overall show. If you have an entire show that's only focused on the darker, grittier aspects, then it's not Powerpuff Girls. It's not the same thing. Just as the reboot completely omits those darker aspects and those more adult moments and completely omits the action for the sake of shitty pop culture humor, the show might end up doing the exact opposite. The key to making the Powerpuff Girls what it is having the perfect blend of the two, action and comedy, light and darkness. It is a balance. Everything about the Powerpuff Girls works. Even the humor. In the villains, it is balanced on a scale. You have the Amoeba Boys on one end, him on the other, Mojo's in the middle, and the others go somewhere else along the spectrum. Everything about the Powerpuff Girls is balanced. When you get rid of that balance and throw things off and you only shift everything to one side, it's going to tip over and everything's going to spill. That's the problem with the reboot, and it might end up being the problem with this. Seriously, how hard of a concept is it to understand? 3 6-year-old girls beating up bad guys and having fun doing it. What is so complicated about that? And that's another thing. You know, the fact that they're young adults means they're gonna be played by real life actresses. I know that it's not actually confirmed and there isn't anyone who's known to be playing these girls, but if they were at least, 6 years old, then I could see the original designs being CG'd into a 3D world like Sonic or Detective Pikachu. But no, this whole older Powerpuffs thing is a clear indication they're gonna be played by real life people. And look, I understand the Powerpuff Girls Z was a take on more humanoid designs, but that was still done in animation at least. Seeing real people play these characters does not pack the same ironic punch that these short cutesy characters do. I'm not saying that it can't work and that it's impossible for it to be good, but I don't think I've ever seen worse odds in a live action translation from an animated property. These designs are not going to, in any physical way, translate to real life. So we're just going to be looking at 3 regular people, unless they decide to go the Powerpuff Bluff route and have them wear those giant cardboard heads or whatever. At the very least, this is a different take on the property. It's not just going to be a watered down original series the way the reboot kind of tried to be. But at the same time, if it ends up being so outrageously different, then is it even the Powerpuff Girls at that point? I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer and the like, but after my experiences with the 2016 reboot, I've certainly become cynical to the idea of having any form of reboot or continuation of the Powerpuff Girls, and this sort of news was not the kind I wanted to hear. Let the franchise rest, please, because it's clear to me that who's ever been in charge of these projects has no idea what they're doing. No idea. They don't understand why the Powerpuff Girls was what it was. But hey, maybe I'll be wrong and my thoughts will change. It's too soon to know how this project is going to pan out, so for all we know, maybe it'll surprise us. Maybe it will be good. I'm just saying that my guard is up and I have high doubts because I've been burned by the Powerpuff Girls returning once before, and I don't know if I can take another cycle of that. Regardless, it is a long ways away at the time of this video, and as I said, there isn't any other info out there yet, so this show may not even end up happening. It's too early to say, but I am not getting my hopes up. In fact, my expectations are at practically 0. I'll be sure to keep you updated as more news unfolds about this series, although I don't expect us to get much else for like another year at least. So if we do ever hear anything major about this again, I'll be sure to keep you updated. And who knows, maybe this video will just become incredibly dated and nothing will ever come of it and we'll never hear about this again. It's happened before with a lot of other supposed projects being announced, and it's entirely possible the same will happen here. But yeah, those are my current thoughts. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about this announcement and whether or not it's a good idea, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.